Alright, Shalom. Before I start, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, peace, blessings, and salutations to all like Akim, or Akwath, learning, teaching, and truth and sincerity. Alright, another video through the Spirit. Took this picture today while at work, and you can see it playing for what it is. Alright, what they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. You see here a young black male walking across what looks like a street that's blocked off with a traditional street closed sign, but then you see what? Hood closed to gentrifiers. Alright, and you know, I live out here in Detroit. It is an underdeveloped city, you know, that stayed stagnant after Motor City, you know, had its collapse, right? Motown, right? And now in these past, let's say 10 to 15 years, you have had much gentrification of the inner city to where now you have bike lanes, stores that are clearly designed to attract Edomites, who we know, the Edomites, who people in this world call white people. Good fucking niggas, man. I can't stand niggas. Y'all, Salaki, y'all. Fucking black people, man, I tell you. Edomites have gone about setting up things and taking over neighborhoods that originally, you know, were supposed to be for minorities to live in. Salaki, y'all, I'm on the road, and you know, fucking hooligan tried to cut me off. Excuse me. And this has detrimental effects on Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans' ability to prosper in the society. They pop up in our hoods, and then take away our schools, have them torn down and set up parks, take away our houses, have them torn down and set up gardens and markets. And like I said, these new stores that are set up are clearly, by the names that they're given, the designs of them, they're clearly designed to attract Edomites and to repel, you know, the Negroes, the very ghettos of the people whom they're taking over. And this isn't something that's a mystery or unknown. This is well known. This term gentrification is well known. And matter of fact, y'all, this sign was put up across the street from a new elementary school for young black kids here in Detroit, because like I said, you have all these hoods all of a sudden being redeveloped when we couldn't get the funding for them when we needed it, you know, 20, 30, 40 years ago, you know, smack dab in the crack era, right? But now, you know, they're beginning the process of pushing us out, or not beginning, they've mastered the process of pushing us out and setting up the cities for themselves. So let's get some scriptures. This is a common tactic of who? Yours truly, Edom. Psalms, matter of fact, no, let's go to Micah first. A couple scriptures I want to get for this, but Micah 2, and I'm going to start at 1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. So the Edomites practice these things because it is in the power of their hand. Literally, they have the architectural knowledge. They have the people who hold the contracts. They have the ability to rent out the demolition equipment and construction equipment. And us in the hood, you don't have any access to this. The best you can do is pick up a basketball on any given day. And like I said, we're purposely locked out of higher education in mass numbers. They let a couple niggas slip in, but not in mass. We're purposely locked out from higher paying careers, right? By how? Requiring a degree or extensive apprenticeships, which they know we cannot afford. You know, things that they get passed down to them from father to son, or uncle, or, you know, grandfather. Well, we never had access to it because we've been slaves. They know this. They purposely have set up institutions to bar us from the higher tier of society. Verse 2, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. And so once again, we know this is a common tactic of the Edomite, to show up, take over your land, brainwash you and your descendants, all right, strip you of your heritage and place something else upon you. This is the 101 of the so-called white man, and you have to keep it real. you can't say that he doesn't do this, because the evidence is in the very fact of this video, the very picture right there. Psalms 49 and 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their land after their own names. And like I said, when these Edomites come in, they take over, they begin to rename things after themselves. Look at the place known as America. Hell, what we call Egypt, y'all, the ancient dark-skinned people who lived there didn't call it Egypt, nor did they call the land as a whole, the continent, Africa. These are names that we still use to this day, that white people, Edomites, have made us use after they conquered the lands. Okay? The proof is in the pudding, and I got more pictures. Let me get, I got this one right here. We're gonna go look up the word gentrifiers real quick, but I wanna scroll. I'll come back to that one. That's the famous Dallas sign. But I'll come back to this one right here. This is another picture I took some time ago. It says pollution has no boundaries. Once again, you see that this was painted, this mural, obviously by some Israelites, Negroes, because of the fact that what? The so-called white man sets up his highly toxic and chemically poisonous factories where predominantly in the ghettos and in inner cities and impoverished areas, because he knows the pollutant effects degrade your health over time. So he sets up these factories in our neighborhoods, and he drives back 45 minutes to his nice neighborhood, right? The smog in the air, the runoff in the water, all these chemicals mix and mash, and they produce what? Children with defects, respiratory illnesses, cognitive illnesses, you know, heightened rates of Alzheimer's, heightened rates of Down syndrome. Why is it that our neighborhoods have increased numbers and exaggerated numbers of these illnesses and downsides, but when you go to neighborhoods of wealth, they don't have as many? So what does that, so are diseases class-based? You mean to tell me you have are diseases racist too? Or our disease, oh no, I'm not gonna mess with him, he has too much money, but I am gonna go get this poor Negro to, no, this man has purposely put systems in our neighborhood that keep us sick and downtrodden. Now, is that any excuse for our people to commit evils? No. But once again, this shows you that this is purposely planned, y'all. I shouldn't be able to ride around my city and get pictures of people of the world crying out against this man if this was a good, clean world. So let's just do this. We look up the word gentrification. Fucking idiot. Says the process whereby the character of a poor urban area is changed by wealthier people moving in, improving housing, and attracting new businesses, typically displacing current inhabitants in the process. This is a common tactic of the Edomites. All right, hey y'all, there's a time period, before you had the Triple K, you had a group of Edomites known as the White Cappers. Look up white capping. That's actually some of the origins where the Triple K get the sheet shit from. They would put on white regalia, all white apparel, and specifically a hood. And what did they start to do? They started removing all the black farmers and landowners. You wonder why we don't have any fucking farms, lands, and animals. You had an entire movement. Matter of fact, let me get that, y'all. Let me drop some on you if I haven't done a video on it already. All right, right here you have the term white capping. Now up top, they try to give you a fancier definition so you don't really understand, you know, what's going on, or try to soften the blow. But we're gonna read down so we can get a better understanding. All right, Slakia, so we'll read up top right here. It says, white capping was a violent vigilante movement of farmers in the United States during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. It was originally a ritualized form of extra legal, so it wasn't legal, but they did it anyway, actions to enforce community standards, appropriate behavior, and traditional rights. So right here, they try to just make it seem like it was a militia of guys wanting to uphold their rights. No. What was it? However, as it spread, so just continue on right here, right there. It says, however, as it spread throughout the poorest areas of the rural South after the Civil War, white members operated with economically driven and anti-black biases. States passed laws against it, but white capping continued into the early 20th century. So this was a group of Edomites, and they say here that, you know, it originates in the South. When bad things happen in America, they always try to pin it in the South. No, you had many Edomites from many parts of the country practicing this, forcibly stripping Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans of their wealth. And right here, this was a physical, violent action, you know, 100-some years ago. Now they do it passively by doing what? As we just read the definition of gentrification. Now they, you know, shut things down, come move in, set up businesses, you know, set up little goofy restaurants, right? Now they do it soft way in a legal format instead of extra legal. So I'm gonna scroll down under history, and all we really need, I'll read the first 2 paragraphs here under history, and that's all we really need. It says the white capping movement started in Indiana around 1837. And you know, right here, obviously, he has been white capping since he got here. He's began the process of killing us, taking things from us. This is just the actual date and year that they want to put on it, right? It says, as white males began forming secret societies, oh wow, in order to attempt to deliver what they considered justice on the American frontier, independent from the state, these groups became known as the White Caps. The first white cap operations generally aimed at those who went against a community's values, men who neglected or abused their family, people who showed excessive laziness, and women who had children out of wedlock. All were likely targets. So this was a group of E's rolling around, beating you up and killing you if you didn't do what they thought you should be doing, because they weren't judging you based off the scriptures, you know. You know, they was rolling around whooping and cracking down based off of their own, what they deem right and wrong, which is a common, you know, thing among the second paragraph. It says, as white capping spread into the southern states during the 1800s, after Reconstruction, a period of increasing racial violence against blacks by whites, the targets changed. In the South, white cap societies were generally made up of poor white farmers, frequently sharecroppers, and small landowners who operated to control black laborers and prevent merchants from acquiring more land in the South. White caps tried to force victims to abandon their home or property. White capping in the South is thought to have been related to the stresses of postebellum agricultural depression that occurred immediately after the Civil War. Okay, so right here, basically, you see that, and I could, you know, go on and read more of this, but I challenge you, brothers and sisters, come look into it yourself. Look up white capping. If the spirit is on you, you know, do a video on it, right? But this was pre-Triple K, and so they were rolling around, stripping Jake of everything that they had, pushing them off of their lands, preventing them from being farmers. Hey, ain't nothing changed. Now they just do it softer, because legally they can't just show up and kill you for the land under you. But you know what they can't say? Oh, we've discovered that you have a natural gas pipeline that runs under your home that would be of benefit to our car manufacturing plant about half a mile away from here. So we're giving you 2 options. We could either buy your home for you, or we could have you legally evicted from it over the process of, you know, a year, right? And then this is how they present it to you. You know, they don't say the second part to you so softly, but they'll tell you, hey, we'll offer to buy your home. And then, you know, what a Jake will deny. They'll say, okay, you know what, well, we found that your home is in violation of such and such code, so now you do have to move anyway. That's how they get us, y'all. Why? Because he's a devil. So let me go back to the pictures, actually, y'all. This man, the devil, as he is doing what he does best. That's why Jake, because, you know, this is more than likely a Jake who set this sign up, this picture, you know. Come on now. And this is another one I took. It said, keep your city clean. I meant to do a video on this, but this is, I was driving past a house. It was, you know, in the hood, and you could tell that they were into health and farming, had plants and stuff out. Now, the ghettos and the hoods are torn up, which niggas partake in, right? But who has nursed the culture of the hoods to be downtrodden and beaten, and the suburbs are nice and wealthy? Who determines your insurance rates based off your zip code? Who determines your loan interest rates based off your zip code? The Edomites, the so-called white man. So in a roundabout way, it all gets back to him. Why? Because he has taken the fucking peace from the earth. No matter where you go, no matter who you are, you have to deal with this man. And if you do something that is outside of what he has now ordained to be lawful and legal, you're gonna have a rough life in this world. And you better hope you ain't dark, because the dark you is, the rougher it's gonna get. And more specifically, if you're an Israelite, Negro, Latino, or Native American. Revelation 6:4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. What nationality of people on the planet Earth have gone about taking peace from the earth, go about killing people with their technology? Keep it real. Edomites. Who? The so-called white man. Keep it real. Is there a giant red horse going about killing people? No. This is parabolic. This is referring to a group of people who are, like in their nature, red, because red represents blood, you know, slaughter, murdering wrongfully, robbery. This is representations of, you know, red. You know, to the contrary, you know, take a color like blue, you know, mellow, peace, chilling. Well, red is the opposite. Red is the opposite. Who is the red man of the earth? The so-called white man. Let me get another one. Let's go to oh, you know what? That's what I got one more. Another one in Rev. I want to save it actually. I'm gonna come here. I want to get the other picture. Slakia. Right here. Okay. Hey, the famous Dallas sign. I had to get it the best quality I could. The famous sign behind where the brothers used to camp in Dallas, right? Lynching in America. And this is where I'm from, you know, hometown. And every time I go down there, I like to come pay this sign a visit. And you know, you have to imagine, y'all, they stamped this here, but there's many more places where we were done wrong that didn't get a sign. So let's just read it real quick. If you never took the time to, you know, read it, here it is. It says, in the summer of 1860, 3 enslaved black men were falsely accused of arson. How common. This is a very common story. Negro, Latino, and Native American falsely accused of doing something, and now they have to suffer death brutally by the Edomite. And, you know, they do it without a care. It says, which enraged enslavers and white residents in Dallas. It says the 3 men were lynched by a white mob. And an order was issued that every enslaved black person should be whipped as a warning. 1 month later, Texas seceded from the Union. Wow, so man, you know, imagine that, man. Here it is, some random dude dies. Some random other slave dies for a crime they didn't commit. And now you somewhere 3 plantations away, your master just comes slapping the skin off you like, God damn, we can't even, can we just breathe? And in today's time, we may not be physically getting whipped, but you see the same penal code. They have set up laws that specifically target black people that they know we will potentially habitually break. What's a good one? No loitering. It's illegal for you to stand around with your squad, with your homie, and they know that spiritually, hey, what did Jake be doing? Jake be posting up, right? Might not even be up to nothing. 3-4, you know, Negroes might just be up talking. Well, now you can get in trouble doing that. They set up, matter of fact, I'm sorry, y'all. Let me get one, and then we'll come back. This man in his system, he set up laws specifically to target us, right? That's why during the crack epidemic, you know, what was it? Crack cocaine, 10 grams to get you, what, you know, 1,000 years compared to 100. Oh, no, what was it? 100 milligrams could get you a very long time compared to 10 grams of just straight cocaine, which the Edomites would smoke, snort, and, you know, do, would only get them like 1 to 3 years. They'd get a minimal sense for more, and we'd get a maximum sense for less. Why? Because he's a demon. Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. This man is the lawmaker, and he sets up laws specifically to be lenient upon his own people that do something, and vicious to ours that do something. Now, am I giving excuse for our people doing wickedness? No. I'm just laying out the facts, which everybody should know. All right, it says Texas seceded from the Union. It says following the Civil War, fierce resistance to equal rights for black people, and an ideology of white supremacy led to federal violence against black women, men, and children. Oh, amazing, amazing. And it said, oh no, fatal violence, Slovakia. Okay, fatal violence between 1865 and 1950. Holy shit. Your granddad was probably still alive from 1950. So here it is. Them Southern devils got even harsher post-slavery, 1865, right? We're supposed to be free, right? No. As we just read, it said white capping was going on up until the 20th, earliest 20th century. They were still killing us and removing us off of our lands. What's evidence is that? What is evidence of that? Red Summer, I believe. I forget the year on that. Red Summer in Chicago. Tulsa, Oklahoma. What was that in New York? The Central Park. Seneca Village, New York. These are all famous places where black people lived and were overnight killed, slaughtered, and pushed off the land by Edomites and so-called white men. Say I'm lying, nigga. Any one of you, say I'm lying. Mother effers like vocab. Why you guys make everything? We make things about race because you made it about race. We was chilling and grilling. Y'all came and grabbed us up and brought us to this goddamn godforsaken continent. Ain't been nothing but hell over here. It says thousands of African Americans were victims of mob violence and lynching across the United States. Lynching emerged as the most public, notorious form of racial terrorism, and white mobs acted with impunity, so they could do so and they wouldn't suffer any legal consequences. Rarely facing legal repercussions right there for their crimes. White press coverage regularly defended lynchings as justified. The same thing you see in the media today. When a Negro gets killed by a white folk, it's always justified. It's always justified. That's how we know it's the same thing over and over again. It's just changed. The terms are different. All right, the vehicles are different, but nothing ain't changed, really. It says white press cover. Okay, it says and lynch mob members were almost never arrested or prosecuted. Deep racial hostility resulted in targeting and menacing of black communities after alleged crimes involving white victims. Within a year of the lynching, Mr. Brooks, the city removed the Elks Arch. Over 358 racial terror lynchings of black people have been documented in Texas, 7 of which are known to have taken place in Dallas County. All right, so this is just something, hey, this land is littered with the evidence of your wrongdoing. Esau, Edom, so-called white man, and you're not going to get away from it. We will be avenged of this. We will be avenged by the Heavenly Father. God damn you, me. We will be avenged. And I just got one more to end it. I took that picture today and I was like, man, I think I got a decent amount of these saved up now. I believe I got more on my phone. Just rolling around and just seeing pictures of the evidence of this man's wrongdoing against our people. All right. He can't make it go away. There's no amount of ass kissing, lying, or anything that can be done. Gaslighting, right? You're going to have to pay for what you did, E. It is what it is. Revelation 11:18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come in the time of the dead, that they should be judged. And that thou shouldest give reward unto the servants, unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. So that's what we're waiting on. This man who's destroying the earth to be avenged for what he has done to us, the saints, the Israelites. All right, and after 1,000 years, dealing with the top part, the nations are angry, the time is dead, they should be judged. The heathen, they're going to be judged for all their wrongdoing, and like it tells you in Revelation 20 and what is that, either 3 or 4, after 1,000 years, they're going to be allowed to live again. They're going to go back to the lands where going to lighten up the ass cracking on them a little bit. But Esau Edom, after his G, he's being completely exterminated pursuant to the book of Hodiah. He must pay for what he has done, and he will pay. And he's not just going to pay because we said it. He's going to pay because the scripture said so. Alright, so with that, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all like the Akim Wa Akwath, learning and teaching in truth and sincerity. Shalom.